Hello guys, this is Dominique B. I will be covering the Extraordinary Equiano and the interesting narrative of the life of Olaudah Equiano. I'm going to be doing a brief summary of the book and his life. So, Olaudah Equiano was enslaved as a child. He was taken to the Caribbean and was sold as a slave to a captain in the Royal Navy and then later to a Quaker trader. Eventually, he earned his own freedom in 1766 by doing some intelligent trading and saving his money, basically. Um, in London, Equiano was a part of a group called Sons of Africa. They were well-known Africans living in Britain, and he was active amongst leaders of the anti-slave trade movement in the 1780s. He published his own autobiography, which is called The Interesting Native of the Life of Olaudah Equiano in 1789, which depicted the horrors of slavery. It went through the 9 editions and aided passage of the British Slave Trade Act of 1807, which was abolished which abolished the African slave trade. As a free man in London, he supported the British abolishment movement. Equiano had a stressful life. He suffered suicidal thoughts before he became a protest Christian and found peace in his faith. Just to add a little bit more about him, the book goes into great detail of how he was kidnapped and sold as a child, how he was taken from his family, how he battled with suicidal thoughts of killing himself because he was enslaved and he wanted to be freed. He wanted to be like or be in the social society in London. He loved it there. He seen how they lived and things like that, so he wanted that for himself. He kept hoping and hoping to be freed. He would think of different ways of how he can be freed, and he finally found a way by doing a trade with his Quaker master and basically granted him his freedom just to be free. And then once he got into the lifestyle, it wasn't exactly what he thought it would be. As a grown man, he wound up getting recaptured and then breaking free again, and then he went on to try to abolish slavery, which he got accomplished. He written several books, and he wound up living a good life at the end. He married a white woman or English woman, and lived a good life after that. So the first question I have is, which moments, scene, or idea in this work contributes to your understanding of the culture, values, and society in which it was produced? For me in this story, it came to me, or a better understanding for me was when he actually got his freedom and was able to live the life he thought he wanted to live in the society that he wanted to live. It kind of brings me back to today's time, how even us right now do the same thing. We grow up, well, not grow up, but we look as kids, we see things that we want and things of how we want to live, or we learn from how we live as children and try to do better. And then once you get out in the real world, it's like completely different. Like, it's not as easy as it looks. is, like you see people on TV who are superstars. It's not that easy. Life is hard. Second question, which moment, scene, or idea in this work contribute to your understanding of the culture values of your own society? Again, our society is basically off of financially who has more money, who's the popular person, who has the best this, who has the best that. So, going into that, trying to accomplish that, everyone doesn't get that high of a financial status or a society status or social status. So, for that moment in that scene when he realized that, it wasn't everything that he thought it was going to be, and he finally found himself and knew how to operate within that society. Last question. Would you recommend the text to others? If so, why or why not? I would definitely. As a black woman, it gave me more perspective of how things is in a whole nother country. I didn't, for some reason, never knew that it was slavery in Britain. But, after reading and watching the video of him, it made me want to do a little bit more research. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about him. I certainly didn't know about him until my professor gave us this reading and video to watch. But it's definitely a good story. Definitely give African Americans a different perspective on slavery, because I feel like he was a slave, yes, but he was a slave that was still being taught things. He knew how to trade. He knew how to sell. They taught him how to read and write, which is, in America, it wasn't like that. So it's a good story. Just for an added bonus, I seen this quote online that they had for him, so I'm gonna read it. Um, is it not enough that we are torn from our country and friends to toll for your luxury and lust of gain? Must every tender feeling be likewise sacrificed to your adverse? I might have said that last word wrong, but it kind of spoke to me, so I just wanted to give it to you guys. And last but not least, I found these little cool pictures of him. I really like this one. He's on fleek. And that concludes my little project. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks.